Samani tulikuwa tunachunga, tunakunywa maziwa na ugali peke yake. Kukunywa maziwa, huwezi kula nyama. Lakini siku hizi tunakula wote. Unakunywa maziwa, unakula nyama. Na tulikuwa tunatoanga meno. Na siku hizi hatutoi. Samani tulikuwa tunatumia miti shamba, apple clinic, apple medicine. Ili ya kuchemshia watoto. Chemshia kuna dawa ya vijana, kuna dawa ya wasichana. Na kuna kubadilisha, mama akipata vijana wasichana peke yao, kuna dawa tunabadilisha. Lakini ukipata vijana huwezi badilishwa sababu wazee wanapenda. Lakini ukipata wasichana tunabadilishwa. Samani kulikuwa kuna dawa kabla inji, kabla watu wakakuwa wengi ndio wakaribu sasa inji. Unaona? Wakaanza kukata miti. Wakakata ile hata kama ni dawa, hawajui ni dawa. Hawajui ni dawa.
We are integrating intergenerational knowledge about the Endorois. We are strengthening ourselves because we realize Endorois culture, Endorois language is facing a lot of extinction out of issues of climate change, out of intergenerational priorities, and even the issues of westernization, which to larger extent is really affecting the use and transmission of language. So as we commemorate World International Indigenous Peoples Day, this year theme is about strengthening self-determination. The determination of children, the determination of learners plays a very important role in terms of strengthening our knowledge, our community, our identity and all that. To begin with is that Endorois community had a long struggle for land rights, which was ruled way back in 2010, and for us to strengthening our community, our way of life and all that, including even the case, it is very crucial for us to let the learners understand where we were at the moment, where we have come from, the issues facing the land, like climate change. We have seen Lake Bogoria expanding in the size. We have seen how this has affected our way of life, including even access to traditional medicinal plants and even prayer sites that were very crucial for our community. So as we were reminding ourselves of what has happened, we are also equally a proud community because we have a culture, we have today used that one to celebrate ourselves, celebrate those leaders who have fought strongly for the community, and even remind our young planners what is required of them in terms of the culture and even administering that culture at family level. This day is very important because we have seen that in terms of biodiversity, in terms of indigenous people constitute a very small number worldwide, even here in Kenya. And you find that those areas that has been named as non-developed areas, like Endorois community, like places we see in northern part, places of Marsabit, Moyale and all that, Samburu County, Kajiado and Laikipia. All those areas that has pastoralism, that has a unique way of life, and as people who has certain culture are seen as areas that has allowed people to use their traditional knowledge to govern the area. And those areas all are very significant biodiversity. So that role reminds us we need to celebrate those people. We need to celebrate that knowledge, that for generation and generation, they've been able to sustain their way of life. They have been able to sustain in terms of environmental conservation, and those culture as a very unique, component in terms of growth and building a self-esteem of that community. We have seen those communities operating as one, despite the fact that it is a big number that is operating that place. It is not very easy like that. So we have seen how indigenous people play a very important role, not only in Endorois, but also in the setup of Kenya.
One of the main reasons why the activity has taken place today is actually for sustainability of the young people to be part of conservation aspect. Lake Bogoria actually is one of the heritage that serves both globally and internationally, and even the community at community level, because community actually are proud of owning the resource as part of the resources that they have. And I really want to appreciate a lot what AUN has done, is because we've been doing a lot of conservation aspect from the old people or the elderly people or those who are actually more of advanced in terms of learning, but we've never actually utilized the young people the way we've done. This is actually an historic event which has happened within the Lake Bogoria landscape, because the group of the students or the pupils actually have been drawn from the all sides of the landscape, both from the northern side, the southern side, the eastern side, and the western side, as far as almost like 10 kilometers away from the lake. So this is actually an activity which will actually sustain more of conservation in terms of culturally and in terms of the utilization of the natural resource from the level of an age of now even 10 years can actually knows the importance.
Siku ya leo tumekuja kusherekea na watu wa Endorois, kukuwa na wao in solidarity for their celebration of the International Day for the World's Indigenous Peoples. Na muhimu sana ni ya kwamba lazima tuweze kuleta watu pamoja and celebrate this day. This year's theme is Indigenous Peoples and AI, and this is so important to recognize that ni muhimu sana kwamba tunapofikiria mambo ya language modeling, knowledge revitalization, cultural sustenance, tunafikiria na kujua kwamba how do we bring people together. Watu indigenous peoples watafanya nini haswa kuhakikisha kwamba ile information ambayo inakuwa fed to these models ina impact aje communities, ina impact aje the futures of indigenous people. So we are so happy to celebrate this day in this specific location here in Loboi, and also to come together in solidarity. And I'm so happy kwamba tunaona watoto wakishughulishwa kuhusu haya mambo, kujifundisha lugha yao, kupractice. They say practice makes perfect. So ina muhimu sana kwamba watoto wanapopata nafasi kama hizi ya kusherekea culture, jamii, na pia kujua the struggles ya watu wao ni muhimu sana. Umuhimu wa siku kama hii, celebration of the World Indigenous Peoples Day, ni ya kwamba inahusisha jamii kujua wao ni kina nani, define their identity, na inawasaidia pia kujua kwamba struggles zao ni zipi, how do they engage with advocacy. Serikali inaendelea kutengeneza sheria kila siku, ina affect mambo hayo, ina affect aje maisha yao. For example, they have the court ruling of the African Climate Court, the African High Court, which give them their land, and also we've seen the government is very slow in terms of implementing that law. So ni muhimu sana kwa watu kuja pamoja na kusherekea na kujua kwamba hivi ndivyo tunafika katika sisi kufikisha kuadimisha haki zetu na in fulfillment of their rights. So it's important to have this day for those purposes.